today we are going to be doing a video of a makeup look inspired by Jimin's Blood, Sweat and Tears makeup. This is going to be a slightly, I guess, more like feminized version because I'm doing it for a group that me and my friends having of magical girls inspired by the looks that they have in the Blood, Sweat and Tears music video. So this is like the rest of my cosplay on. I guess I'll show you my fabric that I made for it. So the top that I have here is sort of inspired by the black shirt that Jimin wears both in the very beginning and also like the blindfold scene. And normally the print has like, I guess like badges or like some other strange like shape on it inside of the frames, but I have it so there's a bunch of photos of Jimin that I took and then edited and drew on top of, as well as the frames that I drew. And then I printed this fabric out using spoon flour, and it's just like a black satin with all of these frames over top of it, as well as a rosette that I drew that's sort of inspired by Jimin as well. And it kind of is supposed to mirror the shape of like a normal like dress shirt for a man, where it has like this collar bit coming down, and then it has buttons along the front. So this fabric is currently set to like view only, so you can't actually buy it, because like I altered all of these photos from like official big hit ones, and I didn't want to like put it up for sale because they're technically like not my photos. But if people really like it, I might make it available for sale, and I don't know, maybe I'll just donate the money to like a Jimin campaign or something. Okay, with that out of the way, we are finally going to get on to the actual makeup. I'm going to start with the primer that I use in a lot of my videos that is my favorite, which is the Too Faced Hangover Replenishing Primer. My skin is actually pretty moisturized for once, especially now because it's like the summertime, but at the same time I just like the way this feels a lot, and it's really like refreshing and makes me like actually motivated to do the rest of my makeup. Okay, I think for foundation today I'm going to be using the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Matte. I usually am not a huge fan of matte foundations, but I feel like in the video their skin is a bit more like uniform as opposed to like how glossy it looks in the DNA music video. So I'm going to use this today. So I'm trying a new like method of applying my foundation with the silicone sponge. I think it was an Edward Avila video that I was watching where he was saying that like if you tap a lot with a silicone sponge, it like brings up a lot of the dead like skin cells, and instead you should really like swipe it to initially like sort of distribute it and then tap it in. And already I'm starting to see it doesn't look quite as cakey as it sometimes does when I first put it on, and I think that's because I'm actually like swiping it around to distribute it first. Okay, that totally helped it a lot more, and I think I got like a little bit better of coverage in terms of like spreading it across the entirety of my face doing that method. Doesn't look too bad. I think I'm gonna probably wait for a little while and instead I'm gonna work on putting on my concealer. This is the Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define Concealer. I mentioned this in the previous video, and it's supposed to be like a good dupe to the Tarte Shape Tape, and I really like the Shape Tape, so like I was looking for this when I last went to Ulta to hopefully be like a good replacement for that. One thing that I did notice about this is that it does crease for sure, so I'm going to have to make sure that I set it really well with my powder. I'll do like a pretty light layer over top of the majority of my face, and then I'll do it a little bit more heavy along where I put the concealer. So now we have most of the base done. I'm going to do the like I guess rest of the face, and then I'll move on to the eyes. So I'm going to do just a tiny bit of highlighter. I don't think that it's too crazy in the video. I have like this palette from NYX, and I think I'm going to use probably like this upper pinky shade and then this like golden shade like mixed together. And I just got an update on my phone that BTS is currently live on VLive right now. So I'm not going to watch that because I'm too busy doing other BTS related things. Okay, I think that's a pretty decent amount. Now, instead of doing like blush and contour, I like to do this thing where I use like a kind of like a dusty darker blush to do like kind of both at the same time. So I'm going to use this Bobbi Brown one. This is in Desert Rose. I've had this forever, and it's like one of my favorite blushes, honestly. It's a really like unique color because it's so like muted, as you can kind of see. So I'm going to use this kind of like below where I would put my blush normally, but sort of like in the middle right over here. I think at AX I didn't have my normal like contour powder with me, so I had to use this as like my contour for Chris, and it was quite an adventure, but I realized after that that I did kind of like using it for that. So it's kind of multi-purpose, especially since I have such pink skin that I don't think that having like a more pink toned contour like looks that weird. Okay. Can you see that on camera? I think it's pretty pronounced and I think it looks pretty cute. So I think that'll be a good alternative to having like a full blush. So Jimin has like, it changes a little bit depending on what like photo you're using of him. In the actual music video, his eye makeup is a little bit more darker than it is in like the dispatch photos. So I'm going to do the dispatch photos because they're, I guess, a little bit more subtle. It's like a pinkish purple smoky eye. And let's see what colors I can use for this. Okay, so for the outline, sort of like pink area, I'm going to use, if I can turn it all the way back, this pink shade from my rose gold palette. I'm going to take this pink and put it in the outer crease area. I think his is probably a little bit more muted, but I don't actually have like a more muted pink color, so we're just going to have to go with this for the time being. And I think once I add like the darker shades on the actual lid, it will look pretty much okay. So for the rest of the colors, I think I'm going to use the eyeshadows from the NYX Sex Bomb like little mini palette. I know. And I'm going to take this like muted like brown gray color and do that sort of like right below where I put the pink to kind of blend them together. So for the pink, because I want it to be on like the upper part of the crease, I focus it mostly on like the tip of the crease brush, but for this color I'm going to do it more like along like the lower side, so it kind of like falls naturally based on the shape of the brush below where the pink was. I've definitely talked about this brush before. I don't think there's a lot of makeup like tools I really recommend besides like a crease brush, because like it really takes a lot of the work out of blending, because it just kind of like based on the shape of the brush, it like naturally makes the eyeshadow fall exactly where you need it to. Okay, taking like this really small flat brush, I'm going to dip into this like shimmery dark gray shade over here, and I'm going to focus this along like just the like around the lash line going down. Then with the same brush, sort of like on the other side, I'm going to go back into that like dusty brown color and sort of blend the upper part with the gray. So really this like dusty color is now becoming like the full base, which I probably should have put on ahead of time, but I wasn't sure how I would like the color with the pink, but I think it looks pretty decent. Okay, I think I'm going to take that same like sparkly gray color and just dip it along like the very tip. And I'm going to bring this out and then down onto the lower lash line. Pretty good. Jimin has a very like, it depends again on like the video photos you're looking at, if you're doing the video, if you're doing like dispatch photos, but it does seem like that his lower lash line has a little bit of black on it, but it changes in level, like intensity, depending on what photo you're looking at, so. Okay, I think I want to brighten up like the outer area a little bit more, so I'm going to go back with my previous palette and take like the shimmery gold shade up here, if you can see it, and I'm going to put that like up underneath the brow bone, sort of like the general area up around here. And real quick, because I straight up forgot to do this, I'm going to do my eyebrows. Usually I do them like the very first thing, so I just like jumped in and completely forgot. So let me take a quick look at a photo of Jimin again. I don't know, he has pretty typical like man eyebrows, so he basically goes up and forms more of like, I don't know, like a trapezoid or like a triangle at the end, so I'm probably going to try and imitate that, but maybe less severe. So they stay pretty much the same thickness like all the way down until you get to like the point bit, and then they taper off like a little bit. Okay, that definitely looks like a man eyebrow, at least in my opinion. I want to put a tiny bit more darkness right along like the outer lash line. So I'm going to use, I really use it quite sparingly because it's pretty pigmented, this black at the very end. I'm just going to take like a tiny bit on my brush and go right along there. Okay, I feel like I might have lost the pink a tiny bit, so I'm going to do a little bit more, really lightly on the very top, like right in this upper corner. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. I think that I might want to do maybe a little bit pink in the inner corner, because there's definitely something going on over there, and I won't be able to get to it after I put my like eyeliner on. So I'm gonna take like the thing it comes with, a little spongy boy, and put that. Okay, now I'm going to quick pop on my eyeliner, and Jimin has again like pretty tight lined eyes, so I'm going to go from the very corner with the tear duct and just drag it all the way out. And the line does go, it's pretty straight down. I wouldn't say he has like a big wing or anything. Now that I'm going to also add a tiny bit again on like the under eye. Now we're going to quick add just a little bit of mascara. Jimin has, I don't know, at least on the photo I'm looking at, he hardly has any eyelashes. So I'm just going to like do like my outer corner just to make it like look a little bit more, I don't know, pretty and feminine, but nothing like too crazy. So now I'm going to move on to Jimin's lips. So as you know, the stylists always do Jimin dirty and really like block out a lot of his lips with concealer. So I'm going to do that a little bit on like the top and the very bottom, and then do like a bright red in the center, because that's like, I guess, like kind of the diffused look that he has in a lot of photos. So if you don't actually have like a regular like Etude House lip concealer, there's this like really basic bright nude shade from Maybelline that I like to use when I do like more female characters. I usually just use the lip concealer from Etude House for male characters, but this one still, it has like a little bit of reflectiveness in it, so I feel like it makes it look more like, I don't know, like layering lipstick as opposed to like just having like pale lips. It's also not as severe as the lip concealer, but like I think it, I don't know, I feel like it's better than having actual concealer on your lips, because I would not want to eat that. Okay, they're concealed roughly. And now I'm going to take this bright red NARS like lip pencil and just go along the inner. Okay. And that's what the lips will look like. So at this point you could be done with the makeup, but I want to do something a little bit more dramatic. So I'm going to take this colored mascara and this like really like tiny brush. I swear to God, I have no idea where it came from. It says it's from Wet n Wild, so I'm assuming it was from like a dip like eyeliner pencil at some point. But I'm going to open this up and I'm going to do the tears that Jimin has at the end of the Blood, Sweat and Tears music video. You can also add water to this to make it like sort of like naturally drip down your face, but I'm not walking all the way over to my sink for this right now, so we're just going to do it slow and steady with just the product itself. So I'm going to keep adding this down. It goes like pretty far down his face. I'm not going to go all the way down like to the bottom of his, like, it goes like sort of like to like his lips. I don't know if I'm going to go that far, but... So there is my final look. I think it looks really cute. I am pretty happy with this. And yeah, I think that the green drips just like make it look a lot more, I don't know, like fantasy and magical, which is what this group is supposed to be. Oh, since I'm going to take this off anyway, I figured if you were interested, here's the smudge test on how this eyeliner holds up. It's actually not going anywhere. It's pretty sturdy. So I think this method is pretty good. And the layer areas where I layered it a little bit heavier, it is coming off a tiny bit, like right underneath the eye, but all of this drip down here, it's staying pretty good. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Make sure to subscribe and I will see you all in the next video. Bye!